by the New World Order.
Oh, you didn't know?
You ready? Let's go!
Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Feed me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Big Daddy Cool Vinny Apicella. That's right, and we are live. Welcome to this very special live edition of the Sportswire. And you know what? Honestly, from now on, the Sportswire is going to be live every Monday and Thursday morning. Live right here on Fat Cat Radio, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So set your watches, set your timers, set your alarms, whatever you have to do, because the Sportswire is going to be live every Monday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to whenever we finish. But 10 a.m. every morning, every Monday and Thursday morning, that is. And we're going to be live. So I tried to get the YouTube simulcast up and running. Unfortunately, my XSplit video capture program is not working. For some reason, ever since I switched to Windows 10, it is not working, so I will try for Monday. I do want to apologize to my loyal Vinistry members out there. It's been a rough couple of weeks for me. Last Friday, actually, I put out a show that was a very personal show to me, where I revealed a secret about me. It's in the archive. You can go ahead and listen to it if you want. The fact of the matter is, it's going to take a while for me to get back on Facebook. Which sucks, because quite honestly, Facebook is one of the keys that help to drive the Sportswire and help to drive, all the singers that I would play, and definitely it's important for life nowadays. It's important for public relations nowadays, and quite honestly, we need to have Facebook, especially for the Sportswire. But either way, we are live. Today is Thursday. September 16th, I believe 16th or 17th. September, what day is it? Thursday, September 17th, 2015. It is 10 a.m. and we are live. First off, I want to give a shout out to our awesome sponsors. We have Wayne Jones from Blackline Entertainment Music Group, Jerry Wilson from It's So Real Productions, Stay Blessed Productions, M&J Video Games and Sports Cards in both Wallingford and Southington, Connecticut, as well as Sister Sue's Homemade Jams and Jellies. Now, obviously, because I am no longer on Facebook, I'm going to need to have help from all of my loyal Vinistry listeners to post that and to promote those sponsors for me until I get back on Facebook. Okay, so with that being said, I am still on Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Instagram and Foursquare and Periscope and Tumblr, Tout, SoundCloud, and those are all SWE Connecticut. Also on Google+, Skype, and YouTube, Sportswire SWE, as well as our websites, www.swe-ct.com, as well as www.myfatcatradio.com. The Sportswire Facebook page is still up, www.facebook.com/SportswireCT, because I'm not the one that originally created it, so that is still up, as well as the Fat Cat Radio, which is www.facebook.com/FatCatRadio Enterprise. Those are still up. And once I get back on Facebook, of course, I will let everybody know. I think it's a ridiculous rule that sex offenders are not allowed on Facebook because, well, like I said, I do believe that safety of minors and children is most important. Unfortunately, they group all sex offenders together in one category, in one stereotype. It's like a minority, and it's wrong. People change their lives, and not all sex offenders are child molesters or rapists or whatever. So that's going to be my fight for the next umpteen, however long it's going to take. I am currently looking for a civil rights attorney that will pick up the case and wants to make a name for themselves by suing Facebook and getting these rules changed. Because, quite honestly, I work in public relations, and that's, it needs to happen. We need to evolve, and we can't stereotype everybody together. It's like, it's simply prejudicial, and it's like racism. It really is. Okay, so what do we have on the docket for today? Ironically, I said the word docket. But anyways, what do we have on the agenda for today? Well, some really bad information came out last night that WWE is trying to seriously blackball Hulk Hogan. He is, in my opinion, he's still a WWE Hall of Famer, regardless of his picture is taken off of their website. Because of the simple fact that if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, there would be no WWE. The debate is always there, whether it was Hogan or McMahon. The fact is, it was both of them. McMahon was the brainchild behind it. Hogan was the driving force in the front of the cameras that created WWE. If anything, there would be no WrestleMania. Quite honestly. Okay. Because think about it. And I've said this before, and before Facebook got shut down, I posted this up. With Hulk Hogan now being blackballed because of some comments that he made 8 years ago, and actually it could have been announced 3 years ago, but either way, it was, a personal time, whatever the case was. Also, Superfly Jimmy Snuka being blackballed for being indicted in the murder of his then girlfriend in 1983. Superfly Jimmy Snuka has been removed from the WWE Hall of Fame. Do you realize that Mr. T took on Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, by himself at WrestleMania 1? Do you realize how crazy that is? Really? But whatever the case may be, that's how WWE sees it at this point. Matter of fact, the mandate came down from WWE corporate that all current WWE superstars and divas, as well as anybody who's still on good terms with Hulk Hogan or with the WWE, should cease any kind of communications with Hulk Hogan. Which, really, that's just absolutely ridiculous. For them to mandate who you can and can't associate with. I think they're going a little far. Hulk Hogan is going on his apology tour. Okay, he's going to, whatever the case is, he's going to different cities to apologize. First of all, I don't think he needs that. He's a big enough name. His appearance on ABC on Good Morning America should be enough to warrant. Number one, for anybody that knows Hulk Hogan, who's followed his career, okay, they know he's not a racist. Okay? For Dennis Rodman to come out and say Hulk Hogan is not a racist, and Shaquille O'Neal and The Rock and all these other African American guys, or partially African American, the fact is we know he's not a racist. Okay, so what he was talking about was taken out of context. Now, in my opinion, I think that Hulk Hogan has a huge lawsuit against not only Gawker for leaking that soundbite, but also for the National Enquirer for releasing it, because it's slanderous. It's libel. Sure, he said it, but he said it when, A, he had a lot going on in his life, okay? His gold-digging ex-wife, Linda, was going through a divorce with him, okay? His son was in jail, and, his daughter was on a blooming career, and he was upset with her at the time, which is what he said on his, interview on Good Morning America. It's amazing. This subject has come up in every single Sportswire podcast since it happened. Okay? I remember the first time that I mentioned it, it was actually the same week that, I had broken up with my ex-girlfriend. And everything had gone down with that. Words hurt. Okay? We know that. But when it's taken out of context, okay, people deserve a chance to explain. And that's unfortunately what Hulk Hogan finally got with Good Morning America. Quite honestly, WWE needs to get the stick out of their ass and bring him back. Because I can guarantee you, they're going to bring him back when the money's right for WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. If he's not back, then I don't know how many people are going to boycott WWE and WrestleMania. Quite honestly, I still love the WWE product. I am highly upset with how they're treating an icon, a Hall of Famer. And quite honestly, they need to really examine their policies now. Because you're basically, I can understand what they're doing to Superfly. Okay? Granted, the guy's in his 70s. He just got indicted and charged with the murder now, 32 years later. Okay? I can understand that. But they're treating Hulk Hogan as if he killed somebody. Okay? They're giving Hulk Hogan the same treatment they gave Chris Benoit. And they're giving Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Am I missing something? Am I missing some kind of a place where Hulk Hogan killed somebody? Or killed his wife, killed his child? No. He said some choice words that, while they're wrong, he said them when he thought he was in private. Now, everybody says, oh, well, when you're in private, that reveals your true character? No, it does not. Because when I'm pissed off and angry, I'm going to say stuff that I don't mean either. Okay? And that's how it is. Everybody feels the same way. Everybody has emotions. Everybody has feelings and thoughts and different things where they're going to end up saying something they don't necessarily mean. And what do I mean by that? Well, that's exactly what I mean by that. Hulk Hogan, by saying the N-word and what he said, he was frustrated with Brooke, and he was, just really, I guess, venting, if you will. When you vent, you say stuff you don't necessarily mean. How many parents out there have said stuff, when they're venting about their kids that they just don't mean, but, it's, or in a joking fashion or whatever. This country has gotten way too politically correct for everybody. Okay, it's bad when you can't even go out and vent without something being taken out of context and being claimed to be your true character. Okay, Terry Bollea, who obviously portrays Hulk Hogan, is not a racist. Okay, he is a WWE icon, an icon. And what's sad is that TNA has scrubbed him from their history books as well. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, TNA would have probably gone out of business 5 years ago. Okay? In 2010. Jeff Jarrett's nothing. Okay? Dixie Carter doesn't know how to run a wrestling company. Okay? So, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair would have never came in. Whoa. Alright, I'm glad that kind of popped up when I was in the middle of broadcasting. But anyways, it's just amazing to me how the WWE is treating a legend, an icon, a Hall of Famer for words spoken that weren't even supposed to see the light of day. That's all there is to it. My rant is done for now. But like I was saying, this country, this society has come to be too politically correct, too offended by just about everything. You can walk down the street, say one word, and you're going to offend about 50 people with that one word. I'm not lying. I think it's ridiculous. I think people need to just shut up, know the rule, shut their mouths, and walk on with their lives. If somebody says something that you don't like, walk the other way, because obviously it's not about you. Okay? Not everybody has to take everything personally. Now, what I will say is, when it comes to racism, when it comes to prejudices, when it comes to stereotyping. Yes, you have a right to fight. You have a right to be offended. However, at the same time, it has to be something legit. If it's just somebody who's walking down the street, okay. First of all, like I said in the past, okay, the N-word, okay. If a white guy uses it, it's a racial slur. If a black guy uses it, or a black person, it is a term of endearment because they changed the ER to the A. The fact of the matter is that word shouldn't even be in the lexicon of society anymore. Okay? If you're going to say it and you're going to use that word, then don't get offended when somebody else says it. I don't care whether you're white, black, Asian, Chinese, Puerto Rican, it doesn't matter. The fact is, if you're going to use that word on a daily basis, don't get offended if somebody else uses it. Now, I believe there is discrimination in this world, like if you're refused from going into a restaurant because you're a certain person or certain kind of person. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, and that should be outlawed. And that's the same kind of discrimination that's against me right now from Facebook, against sex offenders. Okay? Now, in the state of Connecticut, at least, I don't know about all around the country, but in the state of Connecticut, alright, there are many people on the sex offender registry that are not true sex offenders. If you're caught urinating on a tree, it's indecent exposure, you're considered a sex offender. Okay? Statutory rape. Okay? Now, obviously the word rape is in there. But statutory makes it where if you're 19 years old and you're having sex with your 16-year-old girlfriend without parental consent, or 18 and 15, or 17 and 15, whatever the case may be, first of all, I don't condone that action. Second of all, if it was two people making a consensual decision, now the age of consent comes in and everything like that, I agree. But if you're not using force, if you're not sleeping with, having sex against their will, that, in my opinion, is not a sexual offense. That is just bad judgment and should be ruled as such. But there are many young guys who go on the sex offender registry because of something like that. Okay? That's, what I'm saying. The sex offender registry has gotten way too out of hand. Okay? In definitely this state, but also in the country, to the fact where people get scared even, or they jump to conclusion when they hear about a sex offender. They jump to rapist. They jump to child molester. They jump to, a pedophile. It's not true for all sex offenders. Okay? Yeah, there are the teachers that sleep with their young students. Okay? That's what it's called. That's what's called a predator. I agree with them not being able to be on Facebook because of the situation of their instant offense. However, chances are they're in prison for a lot longer than I was. But the fact is, if you can provide proof that you've been rehabilitated and you've gone through the court-ordered therapy and you've gone through everything and you've been deemed safe for society, safe around kids, you should be able to provide that documentation to Facebook to say that, okay, this guy's good, you can be on Facebook. Unfortunately, we live in a society where everybody jumps to conclusions. And that's really, really bad. Alright. Now, before we get to our next topic, we're going to go to a song. It is our good friend Jenna Murata, Diesel Woman, right here on the Sportswire.
1, 2, 1, 2, 2.
I got this big old pickup truck. I've been taking it to work and shit. I got myself a real fat ride. Mirrors for the side vision, dually wheels. You know it's kicking. A one hitter is packed inside. I'm petite. Every time I go outside, I get a ride on the beachside trolley where the girls are fly. Guys up on 'em and the girls don't want 'em 'cause they just wanna sit and smoke their marijuana. I'm a diesel woman.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jenna Morata with Diesel Woman right here on the Sportswire. Fantastic talent. As you know, she sang the national anthem at the Connecticut Panthers game a couple weeks ago on August 29th when we defeated the Western Connecticut Militia. Okay. All right, so speaking of the Connecticut Panthers, they are now 7-1 with their defeat of the Hartford Colts this past Saturday. It was a very sloppy game. If you listen to it, it was up on tape delay. The weather was very bad, so we couldn't get any internet access into the field. So I apologize that we weren't live like we were supposed to. And see, that's kind of the other issue about not having Facebook. I don't have the instant connection with the fans to let them know. And I can't do Facebook events. And then, well, okay. I'm going to get off of my soapbox on that for now. All right, but moving on to your reigning, defending, undisputed 2014 New England Football League Connecticut Colonial Conference champions, the Connecticut Panthers. All right, they are currently tied for first place in the Southern Division with the Western Connecticut Militia. They are both at 7-1. They'll go up to Holyoke this Saturday night at 7 p.m. to face 8 p.m. at Holyoke High School to face the Pioneer Valley Knights. Okay. They did defeat the Hartford Colts this past Saturday. All right, so here's how the division stands right now, the Southern Division. The Militia and the Panthers are both up on top, 7-1. The Pioneer Valley Knights are 4-3. The Connecticut Chiefs are 4-4. The Hartford Colts are 1-7, and the Brass City Brawlers are 0-7. I believe the Knights and the Brawlers had a makeup game last week during Labor Day weekend, so I believe those are a little skewed, but I can't be certain. But regardless, in the Northern Division, the Southern Maine Raging Bulls are 7-1. The North Shore Generals are 5-3. The Boston Bandits are 4-4. The Lowell Nor'easter and the Rhode Island War Dogs are tied at 3-5. The Northeast Natives are 2-6, rounding out the division in the Southern Division of the in the Northern Division, I should say, of the NEFL Colonial Conference. Okay, so this past Saturday at Falcon Field in Meriden, Connecticut, okay, we had a very slippery, slobbery game between the Hartford Colts and the Connecticut Panthers. And the game itself, I mean, the Panthers ended up winning by a final score of 28-20. But it was just bad. Numerous times there were low snaps, there were high snaps. Now, granted, the ball was wet. The uniforms were slippery. I understand all that. But the fact of the matter remains that it didn't work well. It didn't work out well for either the Panthers or the Chiefs. Other than the Panthers getting a win, it was a very sloppy game. There were overthrows galore. The special teams didn't do great. First of all, the Hartford Colts do not have a kicker. That's why they always went for two after a touchdown. The game itself, go ahead and listen to it, because it just wasn't. It really was not one of the better games of the Panthers. But like I said, the weather was out there. We also had to wait for a soccer game to get over before we even started. Like I said, it was one of those games where Murphy's Law was seriously in effect. Whatever could go wrong did go wrong. From the very start of the game. First of all, we had to wait like over an hour until we could even get into the stadium for the soccer game to be over. Okay? Secondly, nobody told the referees that we had to wait for a soccer game. So the referees got there at about 6:30 p.m. They had to wait with us for an hour and a half to even get into the stadium. The teams couldn't even get into the locker rooms until the game was over. So, by the time we got up to the press box, we literally had 10 minutes to get everything set, for not only our broadcast, but for the PA announcement. We were supposed to have Becca Myers sing the national anthem. She ended up getting sick and couldn't make it, so I had my 10-year-old son, who celebrated his 10th birthday on Saturday, sing the national anthem. But you know what? I have to say, he was absolutely fantastic. Of course, I'm gloating, he's my son. But the fact is, on the way down, the battery to the wireless microphone died. So, I don't know how many people could hear him. He had a great, strong voice. He got congratulated by all the Panthers players, when he got finished. But either way, he did fantastic. And the game itself, I mean, they won. Can't really say anything about that. But here's the deal: semi-pro football, they need practice, and if they're going to go into the playoffs against the militia again, because we've only got 2 regular season games remaining. This Saturday, like I said, they're in Holyoke, Mass, and then on September 26th, their final regular season home game against the Connecticut Chiefs, and that's where A.J. Jansen will be singing the national anthem at Falcon Field in Meriden. And, then we go into the playoffs. And if we're going to face the militia in the playoffs with this team, with the team we saw on Sunday, now, granted, the center got thrown out of the game for a fight. I think we had 2 players get tossed out for a fight, and then one from the Colts. So we lost our normal center. But, it's still, quite honestly, the fact that, we didn't have it. It was a good game nonetheless. Jamie Rocket Bryant had a couple of good scoring drives from Richard Snowden. One was, I believe, close to over 50 yards. I think both of them were over 50 yards, if I remember correctly. But either way, it was a great game. We are going to try. I don't know how the ride situation is going to work out this weekend, but we are going to try to bring you live feed from Holyoke this Saturday. I'm not sure. I don't know. That's all I can say is we're going to try. It may not work out, but we're going to try. If not, we'll be back on the air with the Panthers on the 29th. Or 26th, I should say. Don't forget, and I should have mentioned at the beginning, you can still download the Sportswire podcasts on YouTube, on iTunes. Go over to iTunes and go to the podcast page, type in Sportswire, look for our flame logo, and click the subscribe button, and every new Sportswire and every new Connecticut Panthers game will be delivered directly to your listening apparatus, be it the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, the anything you have iTunes on. It'll be going there directly and instantaneously, so you don't have to worry about going to Spreaker. Our homepage is Spreaker.com/show/sports-wire. So go ahead and check that all the time. This coming Saturday, like I said, the Panthers go up to Holyoke, Mass. to take on the Pioneer Valley Knights for the second time this year. The last time these two hooked up was in, I believe it was week 2. It was our very first home game, I believe. Let's see. Nope, that was Brawlers. So then it was week 4. And week 4, yeah, the Panthers won 29-0. So look for the Panthers to have another great game against them. At least, I hope so. Because we really need to get the momentum going into the playoffs in a couple of weeks. Now, I don't remember how the NFL does the playoff system. So, as soon as I know, I will let everybody else know, and we'll figure out how to bring you guys NFL playoff action following the Connecticut Panthers everywhere. Hopefully we go back down to Florida for the championship because that would absolutely be fantastic, because then I get a trip to Florida. Woohoo! But we'll see. Hopefully I'll get a nice ring, too. But anyways, so we've got a great game coming up, Panthers and Knights, this Saturday. First of all, I look for it to be a dry game. It doesn't look like it's going to be raining this weekend. But I also look for the Panthers to really come back from last week's game. Even though they won, they still could do a lot to come back and really and just really get onto it. And, you know, I look for Richard Snowden, who is looking to be their normal, you know, their regular quarterback, just to have a much, better game. The ball won't be as slippery. I have a feeling they'll be able to just be better. He'll have his normal center in this weekend, and that's all there is to it. But either way, I look for the Panthers to go on to win, go to 8-1, going into their final game of the season, final game of the regular season, I should say. The baseball, we're going to switch gears now. In Major League Baseball, the pennant situations are heating up. It looks as if Toronto is going to end up taking the division from the Yankees, winning 3 of 4. They did. They won 3 of 4 of their last series with the Yankees. The Yankees then go down to Tampa. They won the first game. They lost the second. Today's the rubber game. Then this weekend, the Yankees go into a 3 Subway Series with the Mets at Citi Field, and then they're back in Toronto. So they've got a while to go. They're, I believe, 3 games back of Toronto right now. I could be mistaken, but I believe it's 3. But they do have hold of the first wild card. And battling for second wild card are Texas and Houston, who are also embroiled in a feud for the American League Western Division. Texas finally overcame Houston, I believe, the other day and have a 1-game lead. But that is going to go down to the wire, as well as the second wild card position, which Minnesota is also in that second wild card race. Literally, I think 2 games separates 5 teams in that second wild card race. The Yankees have a 3-game lead over Texas and Houston, I believe. And they're going to end up getting the first wild card spot. But that's okay, because either way they're going to make it to the playoffs, and they don't have to play Toronto in the first round. They have to play a 1-game playoff, and then they have to play, I believe, the Central or the West, which will probably end up being the West, which will end up being either Houston or Texas. So either way, Yankees got a tough time ahead of them, and we will follow their track. They're looking to seriously limit the amount of innings, I believe, for Masahiro Tanaka. They want to have him face Toronto. I don't know when they're going to give him, if they're going to give him a full 7 days rest, or if they're going to give him 2 4-day rests for starts. So that remains to be seen. Because, like I said, they want to have him against Toronto because he's unstoppable against Toronto, and he's their best pitcher right now. Looks like Mark Teixeira might be out for the season with his nagging injuries. I believe it's on his wrist or his elbow. So Greg Bird has been doing awesome. He's a rookie. He's been taking over first base for Teixeira, and Bird has been playing very great. He's been hitting home runs, as so you hear John Sterling call bye-bye Birdie. A-Rod himself is just doing fantastic. Big comeback from last year, and obviously being off for the year, and he's looking like himself. Now, if that translates into October, we know he's going to choke. But let's hope that it does not translate into October, because we need to have him playing well during the playoffs. Absolutely. Ellsbury's been in a slump since he came back from the DL. Actually, I think since the All-Star break. He's been in a very bad slump. So, it remains to be seen if the Yankees are going to go very far in the playoffs this year. I hope so, but I'm not necessarily too optimistic at this point. All right, so we're going to get to our next song. It is our good friend AJ Jansen. This song is called This Ain't Dixie, right here on the Sportswire.
Down in the corner is a New York City phoner. He likes to think he owns this joint, but he don't. He comes from the Mason-Dixon line, where the hollers and the swallows spend their dimes, raising cane and sipping that sweet moonshine. Well, the good Lord never told him about the country way up here. We like our Hank, we like our Junior, but let's get one thing clear. This ain't Dixie, but it's country. My southern sisters love me. We like it loud, we like it proud. Are you with me? This ain't Dixie, but it's country. And my outlaw brothers know me. We like it loud, we like it proud. Are you with me? This ain't Dixie. It might sound a little unholy. Don't judge me if you don't know me. We all love having us a real good time. No, we don't have the Opry, but we play it up at the Bowery. And I think George Jones can hold his head up high. But the good Lord never told him about the way we do it here. We like our Hank, we like our Junior, but let's get one thing clear. This ain't Dixie, but it's country. My southern sisters love me. We like it loud, we like it proud. Are you with me? This ain't Dixie, but it's country. And my outlaw brothers know me. We like it loud, we like it proud. Are you with me? This ain't Dixie. Pardon me if I seem out of line. But country music stands the test of time. This ain't Dixie, but it's country. My southern sisters love me. We like it loud, we like it proud. Are you with me? This ain't Dixie, but it's country. And my outlaw brothers know me. We like it loud, we like it proud. Are you with me? This ain't Dixie. It ain't Dixie until you cross that line.
All right, folks, that was AJ Jansen with This Ain't Dixie right here on the Sportswire. I got to say that she is a fantastic, absolutely a fantastic talent. Definitely check her out if you can. Like I said, she'll be singing the national anthem at the Connecticut Panthers football game on September 26th, live at Falcon Field. And that's all there is to it. So, check her out. She is also up on Facebook, and she's got her own website as well. Hopefully by Monday I'll have the kinks worked out with our XSplit video program, and we'll be able to do the live YouTube simulcast. Just trying to get things together and really do not only audio but video, and just kind of get things out there and show we're not dying. All right. So, what's next on the agenda? Oh, yes, this Sunday, 8 p.m., WWE Network. It's going to be WWE Night of Champions live on the WWE Network at 8 p.m. The kickoff show starts at 7. And, all right, so we've got a pretty decent card going on. First off, Seth Rollins is pulling double duty. It's going to be Seth Rollins defending the United States Championship against John Cena. And then he's going to defend the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Sting. Now, first of all, I look for Cena and Rollins to be the first match on the card. This way giving Rollins ample amount of time to rest. So then at the main event, it's going to end up being Rollins and Sting for the world title. Now, here's my prediction. Okay? I feel that Cena and Sting are going to both win, and Rollins is going to lose both his titles. Now, I've been hearing rumors through the Gorilla Vine that they're trying to set up Seth Rollins against Triple H at WrestleMania. Now, if that happens, then that throws all the Rock against Triple H with Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon in the respective corners out of the window. But either way, we're going to end up seeing Triple H in action at WrestleMania, because that's what he's been doing. And I feel that if they set up Rollins and Triple H, this is going to be the perfect time to plant that bug. Because Sting threw the teaser out there on Raw saying that Seth Rollins was nowhere near as great as Triple H. And that's true. I guess I gotta give him his due. He's a great athlete. He's a great wrestler. But I will say that I will say that Seth Rollins is a whiny little bitch. He's got that voice that you just want to slap him in the face. And it's funny. I watch General Hospital. Don't judge me. I do. I watch General Hospital every single day, actually every night on Hulu. And it's funny because I always make comparisons between Morgan Corinthos, who's Sonny Corinthos' youngest son. I always make comparisons between him and Seth Rollins. They both have the same kind of voice. They're both whiny, and they both don't know when to shut up. And it's funny because Morgan's ex-girlfriend Kiki used to call him Captain Morgan. If you watched the storyline from when it progressed, you'll know why. But it's funny because then John Cena comes out and calls Seth Rollins Captain Morgan. And I'm like, yeah, that's just too much of a coincidence. I feel like he's a whiny bitch. If he doesn't get what he wants, he whines, he cries. Like with the whole statue thing. I know that's his character, and that's why I don't like him. He's playing a fantastic heel, and I just don't. I don't like him. I don't want to see him win on Sunday. I want to see Sting and John Cena win on Sunday. All right. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the Tag Team Championship match. The New Day sucks. The New Day is going to be facing the Dudley Boys. Now, big question: do we think that the Dudleys are going to automatically, in their first pay-per-view back, win the tag team titles? I don't know. I think they're going to probably try to bring the feud out a little longer. Maybe set up a tables match at TLC. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, because there's still 3 pay-per-views to go in the year, or live events, excuse me. There's going to be Hell in a Cell. There's going to be Survivor Series, and then TLC in December. So, then we have a live Madison Square Garden event coming up, I believe. And it's funny how they're just centering all these live events around Brock Lesnar. It's sickening in my opinion, but whatever the case may be, they're making money off of it. Good for them. So Dudley's against the New Day. I think we might end up seeing the New Day go over, maybe with the primetime players getting involved. I would love to see the Hardy Boys come back to the WWE to rekindle their feud with the Dudleys, or at least help some of the younger teams. Quite honestly, I think we need more quality tag teams in the WWE. The tag teams kind of had a resurgence back in the very late 90s, early 2000s with the Dudleys and Edge and Christian and, and the Hardys and the APA and Too Cool. And, you had all these guys that were out there for the team. And it kind of fell off. Once Bradshaw became JBL, the tag team and the Dudleys went to TNA, and Edge and Christian split up, and the Hardys split up. The tag team division was pretty much over. They really haven't had a really good quality tag team division in quite some time. I'm glad they're spending some money and time on the division now by bringing the Dudleys back. But I would like to see guys like the Ascension and Los Matadores. No, not Los Matadores. The Lucha Dragons, get their time in the sun and their time in the spotlight. I guess on the kickoff show this Saturday or Sunday, it's going to end up being Stardust teaming with the Ascension in the Cosmic, whatever they're called, against Neville and the Lucha Dragons. So we'll see how that comes off, and I think it might be a pretty decent match, actually. Also, Ryback defending the Intercontinental Championship against Kevin Owens. I think I like that they're giving Kevin Owens another title opportunity. I think they could have kept his character a little stronger because he kind of fell to the mid-card or even lower card by after his feud with Cena. I think they tried to do it with Cesaro, and the fact that they went on second to last at SummerSlam, they should have been riding that momentum. Because honestly, I don't even see Cesaro on the Night of Champions card. I really don't. So yeah, I don't think Cesaro's even on the card, which is bad. He needs to be spotlighted everywhere. Cesaro is one of the greatest performers out there. And if Tyson Kidd didn't get injured, it would be Cesaro and Kidd for the tag titles. But Tyson Kidd looks to be out for good with his neck injury. But they need to keep going with Cesaro. I will say that Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose against the Wyatt family, all three members, it's gonna, they're gonna have a 6-man tag. They're gonna have, they're gonna end up having mystery partner. There we go. Lost the words for a second. They're going to end up having a mystery partner. There are rumors about who that mystery partner is going to be. Could it be Eric Rowan? No, he's still not cleared to wrestle. All right. Could it be a guy from NXT? I would love to see Samoa Joe come up to the main roster. I don't think that's going to work right yet. I've heard some more names through the Gorilla Vine that I've heard Kane, possibility, big possibility. Jimmy Uso is not cleared to wrestle yet. Could it be big Rikishi? That's a possibility. One of the Usos' father, and Roman's cousin, or uncle, whatever it is. No, it would be cousin. But could it be The Rock? The Rock hasn't been able to build the storyline for him to do a surprise. So it could be a bunch of different people right now. But, we shall see who else comes up. So, we'll figure it out, and we'll find out come on Sunday who is going to be the mystery partner. Okay, so also on the card right now is going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. The feud has kind of taken a different turn since Lana's gotten hurt. Now they're doing something where Dolph is trying to woo Summer away from Rusev. And from what I heard, once Lana comes back, she's going to be teamed with Rusev again. I don't know. I think it's almost like one of those Mark Mero Sable type deals where Lana has gotten so much bigger than Rusev that now she doesn't need him, but he needs her. Summer Rae's just not getting it done. First of all, I don't know the appeal of Summer Rae. I don't know. I'm not. I don't think she's that attractive. I don't think she's that pretty. I don't think she's really that great to look at. So I don't understand. I don't like her in the business suit because there's just something wrong with her upper body. I don't know what it is, but she just, when she's wearing the pantsuit like Lana and she's wearing the bodice and she's trying to show off her boobs, there's just no, I don't know, there's just something there where they're either too far spread out and all you see are her ribs, or I don't know, but no, stay covered up, please. So they're trying to have Dolph Ziggler woo her away, gave her a present on Monday night, and after that whole thing with the shower incident. But anyways, that's how it goes at this point. All right, so I'm gonna go to my next song. It's our good buddy, it's our friend Second Skin, who I haven't played in a little while. But here's their song "Bottle" right here on the Sportswire.
Cannot be explained why you block
right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Second Skin with Bottle right here on our live Sportswire. Remember, if you're listening to this on demand or tape delay, every Monday and Thursday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Sportswire will be live. I'm working on the YouTube simulcast, but, you know, just putting it out there, letting everybody know that from now on, every Monday and Thursday morning, 10 a.m., we're going to be live. All right, so here's the deal. Fantasy football. All right, big time. Ooh, I got to change him out. Yeah, big time fantasy football. We're going to end up... I want to move him. Edit lineup. Here we go. So, I got to say, last week we got beat. SWE Powerhouse got beat because, quite honestly, I didn't start the right guys. I just didn't. I felt horrible. I did. I started Ben Roethlisberger instead of Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer had a much better week. Frank Gore had a horrible week one. And now I don't know whether I'm going to... Roethlisberger's going against San Francisco. Carson Palmer's going against Chicago. I would venture to say I'm going to stick with Roethlisberger. So, you know, I'm going to stick with that. In terms of my wide receivers, they're really not great. I really don't. And I also started Heath Miller from Pittsburgh, the tight end, instead of Travis Kelce. And Kelce had a hell of a game last week. I want to go back to last week if I can. No. Alright, but anyways, so let me just, I can't get back to week one. Anyways, we are 0-1. We lost to our buddy Irving Gomez, who's a former Sportswire co-host from our YouTube era. And he ended up, so he beat us. This week we play our buddy Jim. He's his team name is the Purple Cobras. Been the same way for 3 years now. So this is how my starting lineup looks right now. Okay, for the SWE Powerhouse, I've got starting quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. My two running backs are going to be C.J. Anderson from Denver, who's questionable right now, and I also have Frank Gore from Indianapolis. My two wide receivers are Brandon Cooks from New Orleans and John Brown from Arizona. Then my tight end is going to be Travis Kelce from Kansas City. Then I've got Chris Johnson from Arizona, running back, as my flex. My starting lineup, my starting defense is the St. Louis Rams, and Adam Vinatieri is my starter for kicker, my only kicker, I should say, which I'll have to get one once it comes up time for his bye week. So, anyways, I'm gonna go home. And, alright, now the update has to go through. Either way, I'm projected to win 100 to 97 this week. So, that's all there is to it. I am 0-1. Let's see how we go. Alright, so that's the fantasy update for this week. Next week we'll go over more, and we'll see how we do on Monday. Well, I'll give you kind of a synopsis of where we stand on Monday, because obviously Monday Night Football won't have happened yet. All right, so that's our fantasy update for this week. I will say that I was very surprised that Carson Palmer had a better game than Roethlisberger. And I probably would have won had I made a couple of changes because Kelsey had a freaking hell of a game as well. So, that's what that is. I do want to thank a lot of people for everything. First of all, there's a new. I can't say there's a new woman in my life for sure. We're good friends. But I have to say, the Sportswire is always taking tangents. But I will say that it's something how God puts people in your life for any kind of reason. All right, and I thought that when I was dating Desiree, God obviously put her in my life for a reason that for something that I had to see, because obviously I had to see certain things about myself that, well, quite honestly, weren't that great. But anyways, so now this new girl, I'm not going to mention her name on the air, but she has been at the past 2 Panthers games with me. She was actually here last Friday while I was recording the podcast, so she knows all about my past and everything. And it's funny how God puts people in your lives when you just least expect it, and you're not even looking in that direction. What I mean is, this girl who is very attractive to me has a lot of things that I necessarily wouldn't like. For example, I wouldn't date someone, who does some of the things she does. But because of who she is, either I find myself justifying it, or I find myself looking at it from a completely different angle. And it's funny how that happens sometimes. Now, I don't know if we're going to be romantically involved, or, we're very close. We're close friends. I will say that. But, like I said, I've always been quite personal on the Sportswire because, well, quite honestly, just sports sometimes gets a little dry. But I've always, gone above and beyond when it comes to Sportswire because this is an outlet to talk about things. I want people to email me feedback, sportswire@swe-ct.com. This is only my 3rd time live in terms of the Sportswire, and we're going to be live every Monday and Thursday morning now. If I'm going to record it, I might as well go live. Sounds good to you. Sounds good to me. I would try to get the YouTube up and running. But, it's weird because I found myself not necessarily getting involved in a life that I've never had an involvement in, but really coming to understand that life a little more. And understand, do you remember, a couple months ago I had my buddy Brian on and we talked about his drug use and drug abuse and what it's really done to his life. I've been exploring that more. And that's the kind of lifestyle that I'd never been involved in. Okay, I've never done drugs. I've never smoked. I've never, drank to excess or been an alcoholic or any of that. I drinking every so often, whatever. Okay, obviously I have my own past and my own demons and things of that ilk that I've had in the past, and I've had my own, downfalls in life. But it's weird when you actually open your heart to somebody who has a different outlook on life, or had a different background in their life, or had a different approach to life, or a different path to where they got today, and you could see the changes in their life, whether you knew them at the beginning or not. But just from their story, you can see how they've turned their life around, how they've come through the other end and the other side. I had a discussion / argument with my mother this past week, and I love my mother. My mother was a single mother. She raised myself and my sister to the best of her abilities after my parents got divorced, and she was a very strong person. She instilled a lot of strength in me, but we had a discussion / argument because of how she sees my love life, how it should be going. and who she thinks I should be involved with and everything. And let me put it to you this way. Nobody can the same way that I got really pissed off back in May or June when I was told that I couldn't date Desiree because she wasn't part of the church, okay, or I shouldn't date Desiree or whatever, and I had to choose between Desiree and the church. Okay, I didn't like the fact that they told me who I can and can't date. It's the same thing with my mother. I don't appreciate the fact of somebody telling me who I can and can't date, especially when you're not getting to know the person. Now, I'm not saying that this girl and I are going to necessarily date. We've been growing closer together, and, who knows what God has in store for us. God's will is above all going to be done, either way. But the way I look at it, but the funny part is, my mother telling me, oh, you shouldn't date this kind of person and that kind of person, and, just her old school mentality of, if you have tattoos, they should be small and covered up. Well, I have no problem with tattoos. Okay, that's just how it is. I don't care if you've got sleeves, as long as you're... My two things, and the two biggest things I look for in a girl, okay, is that they have a big heart, and they're passionate for what they love, okay? And, of course, they're attracted to me, but that's physical. But the fact that they have a big heart, and that they're good to my son. That's it. Obviously there are physical attributes and certain things I'm not going to get into here, but in terms of actually loving a woman and having an attraction to a woman, they need to have a big heart, okay? Have passion for what they do in life and what they want to do in life, okay? And that they have to, love kids and accept my son. And this girl has everything like that, and like I said, there are some physical attributes, but that's all, those are physical. I mean, those aren't, those come secondary, in my opinion, okay? I don't care how a woman dresses, per se, as long as she's clothed, and, it is what it is. If she wants to show off her tattoos, let her. I don't care. As long as there are certain ones that, if we're in a relationship, only I get to see. I'm not, But the fact of the matter is, that's my opinion. And nobody, don't let anybody ever dictate to you who you can and can't date. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's one of the biggest problems I have with society nowadays. Everybody thinks, especially parents, everybody thinks that, oh, well, we could, you're a reflection on us. No, I'm not. I don't feel that way. Because I'm not saying, first of all, I would never tell my son that his life is a reflection on me. Okay, or anybody that raised him. No, his life is a reflection of his choices in life. Okay? If he if he makes bad decisions, he's going to face the consequences of those bad decisions. Why is my CPU going up and up and up? But anyways, yeah, if he does something to, screw up, get hurt, whatever, that's his choice, his decision. And he lives with that consequence. Not, it's not that I have to live with that consequence. Okay? Yes, parents always want better for their children, but they can't push their beliefs on their children. And I think that's what, unfortunately, too many parents think nowadays. Alright, so we're going to get to our final song. Speaking of a great parent, here's my buddy Twism Whitepiece. He does have his own show here on Fat Cat Radio. I think it's like 3 nights a week, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But here's Twism Whitepiece with Go Hard right here on the Sportswire.
Hard in this life, yo, never backing down. Go hard on this mic, yo, always rock the crowd. Go hard on the skates, yo, lead a place of mates. Go hard in this game, yo, gotta win the race. I go hard with it, I go hard with it, I go this game. Go hard on the stage, go hard on the mic, go hard in this life. I go hard with it each and every day. I go hard with it each and every way. I stray away from lanes too messed up in the brain to see the way my reign stays. No games played, all work, all day. All earned, no fake. Cushy burning all day. Yellow bone going down in hallways. I run this rap game in always. Giving thanks to my savior, all praise. Perfect total package, yep, always. Man, you know the way I go. Full throttle, game on swole. Hit down low, get your trunk full of bangers bumping, haters jumping. When you get to thumping down your block, whether Dodge, Lexus, or Maybach, I'm on top non-stop. Best of the new next. Take a second, get to reppin' Team Elite. Yeah, they flexin'. Look at the path laid before me. Two-stepping and I'm jigging all day. Two-stepping and I'm jigging all day. Hard in this life, yo, never backing down. Go hard on this mic, yo, always rock the crowd. Go hard on the stage, yo, lead a place of mates. Go hard in this game, yo, gotta win the race. I go hard with it, I go hard with it. I go hard with it, I go hard with it. I go hard in this game, go hard on the stage, go hard on the mic, go hard in this life. I go harder than the next man. That's why I'm getting featured as the industry's next man. Keep these haters stressed, man, perplexed and wondering what kind of wonder I'ma be doing next, man. 223's aim, man, I did that. Now I'm on another level where I'm telling Kimbo, go get that. Yellow bone, let me hit that. Kush, man, big bag, let me get that. This rap game, it's a rap, kid. I'm on another letting kid. Rude boy clothes, man, all up on my back. And the chain so shiny, lighting in McQueen flash. And them haters talking smack. Team Elite, go handle that. Man, the game's so addictive that I know you'll come right back. Swag so official, yellow bone coming back to back. Down for the ride, sponsor, you can call him Fat Cat. On my own clothing line, you can go and Google that. Still think you're better, man, where we meeting at? Meeting hard in this life, yo, never backing down. Go hard on this mic, yo, always rock the crowd. Go hard on the stage, yo, lead a place of mates. Go hard in this game, yo, gotta win the race. I go hard with it, 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 I go hard in this game. Go hard on the stage, go hard on the mic, go hard in this life. I go hard.
Hey guys, Vanessa here from Pose. Are you tired of listening to the same old stations? Are you ready for a change? Well, there's something new coming your way. Fat Cat Radio, hosted by Twism White Peas. Listen to what you've been missing.
Alright, that was our buddy Twism White Piece with Go Hard right here on the Sportswire. I have to say, Twism is a great guy. Definitely check him out when he does his show on Fat Cat Radio. I believe it's every, I think 2 or 3 nights a week. Check him out. He is on Facebook, facebook.com/TwismWhitePiece. And, TwismWhitePiece.com. That's TwismWhytePiece.com. Check him out all the time. Great guy. All right, so we're going to get to our final segment of the day. And that means our dumb laws of the day, courtesy of dumblaws.com. All right. I love Dumb Laws tagline. It's called Big Government, Small Brains, Dumb Laws. All right, so today we're actually going to go to Arkansas as the next on our list. Okay. It is strictly prohibited to pronounce Arkansas incorrectly, which means you can't call it Arkansas. All right. Oral sex is considered to be sodomy. Okay. Only if you talk out of your ass. Alligators may not be kept in bathtubs. All right. The Arkansas River can rise no higher than to Main Street Bridge in Little Rock. Well, I don't know how you can necessarily put law on Mother Nature. A law provides that school teachers who bob their hair will not get a raise. That's like discriminatory. A man can legally beat his wife, but not more than once a month. That's probably old now, I would assume. In the cities in Arkansas, in Fayetteville, it is illegal to kill any living creature. It means plants, animals, people. In Little Rock, honking one's car horn at a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. is against the law. I don't know. No one may suddenly start or stop their car at a McDonald's. How do you consider suddenly? Dogs may not bark after 6 p.m. Again, how do you control a dog barking? Flirtation between men and women on the streets of Little Rock may result in a 30-day jail term. That's just craziness. It is unlawful to walk one's cow down Main Street after 1 p.m. on Sunday. I didn't know people had their own cows unless they're farmers. All right, folks, that's the end of the Dumb Laws segment in Arkansas. Craziness. That's all I can say. It's just pure craziness. Because, like you said, you got to think about it. Some of those laws were created for people that broke those laws originally. Oral sex considered sodomy. Like I said, only if you talk out of your ass. That's when oral sex is considered sodomy. I hope you all got that. All right, folks. I want to thank you for our very first in a while, live Sportswire. Now we're going to be doing it every Monday and Thursday live, 10 a.m. It is the Sportswire right here. I'm Big Daddy Cool Vinny Apicella. Thank you for listening. Hopefully by Monday we'll get the YouTube feed up. And thank you. We'll see y'all on Monday.